What's going on, boxing fans? I'm back here with another video here set for you guys. Gonna be giving my recap and reaction of the boxing fights and cards that went on tonight on this Saturday night. Just going over pretty much the more known, more bigger name type of fights. Obviously, as you see on the screen, we're going to be talking about the heavyweight bout that was happening on Queensberry's promotion. In the UK, we had Fabio Wardley coming off his tremendous KO victory over Fraser Clark in the second fight that they had in that rematch, where the first one was an absolute barn burner. In the second one, gets a early first round KO victory over him, gets his rival out of there, and is now sitting and setting his sights onto bigger and better things, going on to face off against Justice Honey. I believe Honey is an Australian boxer, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's where he's from, but definitely a step up in competition. Both of these guys are definitely have gone through typical run-of-the-mill elite type of fighters that they've run into so far. Had some losses on their resume as well. I think that's for Honey. And going into this one, Fabio Wardley having his home field advantage. In the first 2 rounds, he looked very dominant, looked to be on the forefront and really pressed the pace of this type of fight. But from the second round on, even though I did think that he took the first 2 rounds, from the second round on, you can just see Honey start to get his confidence, his momentum inside of him to really start to believe that he can actually hang in there with Fabio Wardley, not just, slaughter out to the lambs out there and actually participate in an actual boxing match and actually making it very competitive. And when he started to be able to let his hands go, land this overhand right or this straight right through Wardley's defense, land this left hook that Wardley was trying to do, like similar to this like Philly shell type of defense where it's like he hasn't been touched in sparring, or usually he doesn't get hit by these type of punches, and Honey was just on the button, just completely landing and flustering Wardley. I wouldn't go as far as he was hurting or badly wobbling Wardley, but it definitely was getting Wardley's attention enough to the point where he was like, damn, I'm not going to try to be able to get hit with a lot of these shots even more. And this was starting to really start to show in the third round throughout the majority of the rest of this fight. And so obviously the finish, Honey just seemed to be in a groove where he just had Wardley's number. And obviously these two combatants are throwing great combinations within each other, throwing while other guys are throwing through their combinations or just through their shots as well. Wardley was doing really good to the body, I think, and really making his statement to, go down to the basement. But Honey just up top towards the head, he was just, again, landing the better shots, in my honest opinion. Again, frustrating, hurting Wardley throughout the majority of the fight. And while he was doing so, Wardley, towards the end, started to seem to get his fixture, really get Honey's timing down a little bit better. And then just a peach of a right hand right on the button for Honey, Fabio Wardley, something that he desperately needed because, in my opinion, he was really down on the cards. It was a very close and competitive fight, but Honey just seemed to be in control of it throughout the majority of the fight going. And again, that right hand on the button really saved Fabio Wardley. Gets a huge knockdown, turns into a knockout, and Fabio Wardley gets a great comeback win over Justice Honey. I think he won a championship belt in this fight. Not so sure. Don't quote me on that one, but I did believe that he actually won a belt for this one. But overall, great performance and great comeback by Fabio Wardley, showing the grit, toughness, and determination for him to be able to muster that up, to really not allow himself to be able to get out with a loss, and somehow, some way, just letting loose on that right hand and falling back onto it, because the power that Wardley has is pretty tremendous, if we're being quite honest. Move his head off the center line and just, again, perfect timing, right hand, right on the pipe for Honey, who was looking like he was on his way to be able to get this victory and get a big, young, and up-and-coming name like Fabio Wardley. And we move on to the other card that was really important and something to be able to set my eyes onto, which was the Keyshawn Davis versus Edwin de los Santos card. But unfortunately, that fight fell through because Keyshawn Davis came over. He was about four pounds over. He lost the belt on the scale. They tried to renegotiate the fight for it to be able to go through, but it fell apart. We didn't get the fight to be able to go through with that. So, as the co-main event with Abdullah Mason versus Jeremiah Nakatili, Leah, I butchered that name, but anyways, went at it. And of course, the prospect of Abdullah Mason, him coming off the victories and the knockouts that he's been coming off as of note, he's just been on an absolute tear, man. There's not much to be able to say in this fight. I mean, Jeremiah really tried to, get into there. He's one of these wily veteran type of fighters where they've been kind of with the top tier type of names or other young studs as well. And he has, his wins on his resume. Obviously has like 4, now 5 losses. But Abdullah Mason, a great step up in my honest opinion. The step up, the names that he's been having as of note, have been really, really well in my honest opinion. I think that they're good step ups. They're good bumps into the road that he can be able to eventually get over to. Obviously, the talent and potential you can see is bursting onto your screen while you're actually watching it. No diddy. But Abdullah Mason, man, just takes care of business, continues to just walk down Jeremiah Nakatali. And while he is doing that, he's just making it look like easy work, just outboxing, outfoxing him, and taking care of business. Gets a nice knockout towards the 6th round. That's where the finish, I believe, came in the corner, kind of an omas for Jeremiah, where, they looked at his eye, had a little cut, had a nice little, nod over his eye, and he kind of wanted no more out of it, saying that he couldn't be able to see out of it. So they called the fight off. Abdullah Mason, is on this KO streak, on a winning streak, still undefeated. One of the best prospects as of right now in boxing, in my honest opinion. He has the potential to really be a very big star. Want to be able to see more and bigger names out of him. Maybe, I don't know if they're in the same weight division. Maybe an Oscar Valdez, who's coming off a loss, could be a very big name. I think they're going to wait for quite some time for maybe Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson, who's going to be fighting William Zepeda. These guys are kind of all bunched up with the same type of names around similar weight divisions that they're all in. But yeah, wanting to be able to see more bigger and better fights out of Abdullah Mason because he is showing that he is him 100%. But besides that, want to be able to talk about a little bit with the Keyshawn Davis altercation with his brother losing the fight against, I believe the dude's name Albright, where he got completely outboxed in that one. He looked like an absolute amateur in there, that being Davis's brother. And Davis's brother and Keyshawn going in there and jumping Albright and making it to a scene, and him, losing his belt on the scale and him missing weight. It's just like the stock of this dude. I mean, he's obviously a tremendous talent, and there's a lot to be able to see out of him. Boxers have done a lot worse than what they've done, but for one night, his stock has definitely dropped down tremendously. It was that's really low, man. That's poor. I can understand that you can be upset about your brother losing a fight. You have a problem with it. You want to be able to fight the dude that, beat your brother, but come on, man. Let's have some common sense. Let's, use our brain for once. And let's not do stupid shit like that, man. I mean, that was just... This whole weekend has been an absolute shit show for Keyshawn Davis. He's going to be back into the ring. He's probably going to be able to rematch him with De Los Santos, or maybe he should really go to the weight division that he really needs to be in, which is the junior welterweight division, that being 140 pounds. We will see. But yeah, Abdullah Mason takes care of business. Fabio Wardley with an absolute great comeback win over Justice Honey. And that is the boxing news and recap that I have for you guys. Thank you guys again for watching again. Like this video if you obviously like this video. Comment your opinions on what you thought of these boxing news. If there was more boxing news that I actually wasn't able to tap in tonight, let me know about that. And subscribe, boxing fans. Boxing fans, you're here for a reason. Why not stick around for that reason? Because I have a lot more endured to you later down the line. Thank you guys again for watching again, and peace.